Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Twins are not that uncommon, and most of the time they're just as nondescript as non-twins. But every now and then, genetics surprise us and creates two siblings that are strange, unusual, and sometimes terrifying. Twins have been documented communicating without words and committing terrible crimes to prove their unbreakable bond to the rest of the world. Discover all this and more in our list of the top 10 unusual twins you won't believe exist. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wind up enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends. Which twins terrified you the most on our list? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 10. Twins born in different years. Twins are, by definition, born at the same time, but for Marichica-Tescu, this was not to be, and there would be almost 2 months between giving birth to her twin boys. Marichica, from Romania, has a rare medical condition that means she has 2 uteruses, and she was horrified when in December 2004, she gave birth to her first son, Catalin, 2 months earlier than expected. Baby Tescu was rushed to intensive care while doctors awaited the arrival of his twin brother. But the wait was longer than anyone could have imagined. 59 days, in fact. Baby Valentin was born without complication in February of 2005, and Mom and both twins were released from the hospital at the same time 1 week later. Number 9. The Strange, Murderous Bond. According to folklore, twins are able to transmit their thoughts to one another. Sometimes, though, these thoughts are dangerous and deranged, and it's said that folie à deux, or shared psychosis, exists between twins. Swedish-born twins Sabina and Ursula Eriksson are proof that folie à deux can end in brutal and unprovoked murder. Sabina, who lives in the United States, was visiting Ursula in the United Kingdom in 2008. When both women began acting strangely. After being kicked off of a tour bus for their odd behavior, they darted into traffic and were hit by oncoming cars. When police and paramedics arrived on the scene, the twins ran back into oncoming traffic. Both women were hit by cars twice, but surprisingly survived. And on their way to the hospital, the duo fought paramedics while screaming that people were trying to steal their organs. Ursula was hospitalized in a mental facility, but Sabina was released back into society. Hours later, still suffering from dangerous delusions, she would stab a man to death, survive a suicide attempt by leaping from a bridge, and ultimately sentenced to 5 years in prison for murder. Number 8. The Twins with Different Dads. Dutch couple Wilma and Willem Stewart had always wanted children, so when they struggled to conceive, they pinned their hopes on IVF. Soon enough, they were pregnant and were overjoyed to find out they were expecting twins. They were a little shocked, however, when their twin boys were born and looked nothing alike. Cohen had blue eyes and light skin, and Tuan had dark eyes and dark skin. Confused, the couple demanded a DNA test, which later proved that Tuan had another father, a man from the Caribbean island of Aruba. An investigation into the mishap found that a basic lack of hygiene was to blame. Wilma had been injected with a pipette that had not been properly cleaned that still contained live sperm from the previous donor. Number 7. The World's Oldest Twins. Japan is known for its aging population, and identical twin sisters Ken and Jin Yano became perfect proof of the nation's reputation for long life when they were named the oldest ever twin centenarians. Ken and Jen, which translates to gold and silver, were born in August 1892 in Arumi Village. The twins lived long and healthy lives which could be attributed to their favorite meal, fish with red flesh. The twins became celebrities in Japan when they turned 100, and their health and lifestyle was the envy of people much younger than them. Ken-san and Jin-san, as they were affectionately known, lived to be 107 and 108 respectively. Number 6. Little and Large. If you've seen the movie Twins, you'll know that they aren't always identical, but rarely do they look as different from one another as Hussein and Qadra Basad. The Somali-born twins have a 28-inch or 71-centimeter height difference between them, which is a world record. Kardra is 5'5" or 1.67 meters, which is pretty average for a woman. But her twin brother is an incredible 7'9" or 2.41 meters. The twins began life as average-sized babies, but Hussein never stopped growing due to pituitary giantism, and now is the second tallest man in the world. After being shot, Hussein fled his home country of Somalia and now lives in London, where doctors believe that he has a tumor in the pituitary gland behind his eyes. Number 5. Telepathic Twins. Despite the fact that many people believe there's a special connection between twins, there's actually been very little research to prove it. But when Richard and Damien Powles took part in an experiment, the results seemed to confirm that twin telepathy actually exists. The twins, who lived in the UK, were 8 when they took part in the tests for a TV show. Richard was put in a soundproof room with a bucket of ice-cold water. Whenever he was told to do so, Richard would plunge his arm into the bucket, gasping at the coldness of it. In another room, out of sight and earshot, Richard's identical twin brother, Damien, was wired to a polygraph and was told to tune into his brother's feelings. Incredibly, when Richard gasped at the ice-cold water on his skin, Damien's breathing also changed as if he himself was being subjected to the cold water. In another experiment, Richard was asked to open a cardboard box that contained a rubber snake, which leapt out at him. Again, the twins' pulses quickened at the exact same time. Does this prove once and for all that twin telepathy exists? Perhaps not, but these boys certainly have some kind of paranormal connection. Number 4. Anna and Lucy DeCinque. Identical twins often share things, like clothes and opinions, but Anna and Lucy DeCinque took that one step further by choosing to share a boyfriend. The unconventional relationship began when the twins added Ben on Facebook at the recommendation of a mutual friend. Ben is also a twin, so perhaps that's where the attraction began. The identical twins from Perth, Australia have always been close, and they've even spent $250,000 on plastic surgery to look more alike. I'll leave it to you to decide what they spent the money on. Their boyfriend doesn't see anything wrong with dating 2 people that are related and says that he gets double the love. The throuple are now planning to get married and have children, with Anna and Lucy both hoping to get pregnant at the same time. Number 3. The Hensel Twins. Many know and have followed the story of the Hensel Twins throughout their lives for one very clear reason. They are one of only 4 known sets of conjoined twins to share an undivided torso and 2 legs and survive into adulthood. Abby and Brittany were born in Minnesota in the United States in 1990, and each has a separate head. They also have separate hearts, spines, stomachs, and lungs, and they each control their half of the body. So they have to work together to do anything that needs both sides of the body, like walking, clapping, and running. The girls can eat and write separately and at the same time, and they could even drive a car, although they had to take the test twice as the girls needed separate licenses. Despite their extraordinary circumstances, Abby and Brittany try to lead normal lives working as teachers, and they eventually want to get married and have children. Number 2. Silent Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons are one of the most infamous set of twins ever to have lived, and their story is violent and bizarre. The girls were born in Britain in 1963 and had a tough start at life. They were the only black children in their school. They had speech impediments, and they suffered racism every day of their childhood. The girls only spoke to one another, and eventually, they developed a language that nobody else could understand. They were incredibly close, could complete each other's sentences, and often communicated using just facial expressions. But this bond would soon take a sinister turn when the girls began committing crimes that included arson. Eventually, the twins' behavior became so bizarre that officials placed them in a mental health hospital where they remained for 14 years. According to reports, when they were young, the girls made a pact that if one of them died, the other must start speaking and leading a normal life. During their hospital stay, the Gibbons sisters decided that it was necessary for one of them to die, and Jennifer agreed to sacrifice herself for June. The autopsy showed that her death was due to a sudden inflammation of her heart, but to this day, doctors still haven't worked out exactly why it happened. June honored the sisterly pact and went on to lead a normal life and even gave interviews to magazines and newspapers saying she wanted to put her troubled past behind her. Number 1. Black and white twins. Unlike number 8 on our list, these English twins were conceived naturally and to the same, understandably, shocked parents. Lucy has pale white skin and fine ginger hair, while Maria has darker skin and curly black hair. The crazy difference is due to an incredibly rare genetic mishap. Their mother, Donna, is half Jamaican, and their dad, Vince, is white. Typically, an offspring will be a mixture of both parents, but in this rare occasion, this multi-heritage pairing caused the twins to look entirely different from one another. Thanks for watching. Sorry, couldn't resist. Okay, enough with the double talk. Hey, listen, you only have to click the subscribe button and bell icon once each to become an archivist and automatically be notified of future videos. Then you can double down by liking this video and leaving a comment below about which of these sets of twins most amazed you. Gotta go now. Toodaloo.